Action. Hey, hello, folks. This is. I'm
Forgot who you were.
okay, that's a cut.
No, keep it in.
Keep it in.
Just be like,
Yeah, we're real
Don't know
people
why,
doing
yeah.
real problems.
Yeah.
We're not remembering our own names and shit. Okay, I'm over it. I've been overthinking. Hello, folks. This is V. My name is V Tran, and this is the V Theory podcast. And here's my guest, Jimmy Uken. How you say your last name?
you can.
You can. I can always get it wrong.
Yeah, you don't know how to say my last name.
Like, I don't want to culturally appropriate or whatever.
How long have we known each other? Like 4 years.
Well, it's not fair because my name is Tran.
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't everyone know? It's an English word.
it could be Tron, right?
No, it's, even saying Tran is saying it wrong.
Train. It could be train. What if it's long A?
I don't know. It sounds like I'm too close to the mic. I think I'm a little hot, but don't worry about that. It's all post stuff anyways.
Yeah.
But what was the question? Oh, no. See, saying Tran is even saying it the wrong way. It's just the English bastardization.
Wait, what's the real pronunciation?
John.
Wait, what?
John.
John?
Yeah.
Like a J?
No, it's just like it's supposed to be CHAN.
Oh, so it's sort of like Chan, like.
But like they
Chinese one?
separated it in English for Vietnamese people.
Oh, so they
it's
just
like-
didn't want to confuse it with the Chinese, so they.
Yeah. So they put TRN and then this it's not. I can't say Americans did it. It's the French.
Always the white man.
Well, right. It's the French who did it, right? Is it for Vietnam? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why there was a war in the 1950s.
Yeah.
I like to start the episodes off with background, and I think if people have seen my first episode, they already know about me. But these are special guest episodes. So I'm gonna have one my general with my co-host Daniel Egert, and then we're gonna have every week a guest. And with this format, we're just trying to get to know each other, get to know the audience, and I'll explain my motivations and all that stuff. But let's get to know you more. So let's start. Where were you born?
So I was born in Reno, Nevada, which always, like, people are like, what? Because for one thing, I'm Indian. They're like,
Yeah,
what's an
like,
Indian doing
that's
in
like-
Reno? You know?
Yeah, let's get this out of the way. He's not Guatemalan. He's not Arabian.
Yes, I'm brown.
He's brown, but
Some flavor of brown. It's all chocolate. Right?
yeah, but if you wear the hat,
Oh yeah,
it
I just got a
makes you
haircut.
look
too.
like every other guy. But you take it off real quick. You look Indian.
Really?
Well, more Indian than the hat. With the hat, it's like, oh, are you from Saudi Arabia?
Oh, like that. Yeah. Yeah, most people can tell the difference though between like Indian and Middle Eastern.
Yeah, if they're not white.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just kidding, guys. I like to do the white jokes.
Yes.
I'm like Lily Singh. See, this guy doesn't know who Lily Singh is.
Yeah, I knew that is. Wait, I think I do. No, I don't. No, wait, is she like a porn star?
No.
Yeah.
She's doing the late night show after Carson Daly.
Oh, okay.
And I told you how horrible her jokes were.
Oh.
She's just like, it's because, I don't know, it's just bad.
It's all like Indian jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a woman, like.
Yeah, they always say that about comedians. Like, if you go for the obvious, like you're a fat guy and you do fat guy jokes.
Yeah, those don't fly no more.
Yeah. But then again, you know more about that than anything else. So
Me?
No, I mean like if you want to be a stand-up comic, you could do Vietnamese joke. That could be like a natural niche, but it's like also like too easy.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is looking at me, but well, the Vietnamese don't really do stand-up.
Oh, it doesn't exist?
It exists, but it's not popular,
Oh,
and they don't. They do like skit comedy.
Okay.
That's their type of comedy.
Is it like improv or is it like?
It's not improv. It's just skits they write.
Oh, okay.
And that constitutes as comedy.
Mm-hmm.
like Mad TV or something,
Yeah.
or SNL.
I wonder if stand-up is just like doesn't translate to certain cultures.
Okay, I know what it is. You're just a soft voice.
What? Oh.
No. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's good for me so I can learn how to
Oh, okay.
to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because eventually I'm gonna have some. I never really realized it until now. Like my voice is kind of loud.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I'm projecting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I speak normally, I'm not as loud as this, right? I'm trying to get a validation here.
No, your voice is kind of like deeper. It's like what is it? Like a
soft.
what's the type of singing voice? Like a
bass and baritone. I'm a baritone.
Baritone?
Yeah.
Is that what's the lowest one?
Bass.
And then next is baritone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Baritone is actually most guys. You're more like a tenor.
Oh, is that still in the man range?
Yeah, because
Okay,
you consider who like a tenor would be like Peter Griffin or something. You know,
oh, really? Like,
yeah,
like that?
Yeah, it's just higher pitch. It's not like the deeper, because that's the normal man voice, right? We're tend to be deep, and then very man with a very wide. See, even I have problems with very wide.
What's the one above tenor?
Altos. Now we're talking about counter tenors. Now that's Michael Jackson. And
oh, really?
yeah, okay. Like now we're talking about like what's this guy? Godfrey.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He's a counter tenor. You know what I mean?
Michael Jackson's voice is actually like deeper.
He's a baritone.
It's like deeper than people think. Yeah.
I know he's not a baritone, but he's a tenor. And
yeah.
tenor's his natural voice.
There's
like
one
yours,
song he had. There's an album. I think it's called.
You want to play it?
Do you get pulled for that or something?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't get pulled. We just don't get monetized.
Oh.
So I'm not making any money at all.
Well, there's a Michael Jackson song. I think it's on the album Invincible.
If I can see it. Okay, so you're trying to get my reaction? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, just listen to like how deep it is. It's just like unexpected.
You know we're recording though, so you can say whatever over this.
So what do you think about the whole Michael Jackson documentary? Did you see that one? I watched it.
But I can't hear you because it's the recording. Yeah. So I gotta kind of do it like this. Go ahead.
Oh, the Michael Jackson documentary?
What about it?
Did you see it?
No, because everyone told me about it.
It's like kind of disturbing.
It's like I think I get the idea, you know.
Yeah. See, listen.
Yeah, he's like a lower voice. It's kind of like if like what's his name, Timberlake goes to low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I don't think he does that in like any other song, right? I've never heard his voice like that. See, it's like weird, right?
Yeah.
Would you know that's Michael Jackson?
Yeah, it sounds like just generic white guy number 5 or something.
I guess he is a white guy, right?
No, it just sounds like you know like NSYNC or something, you know, or.
Yeah.
Okay, I get the audience, get the idea.
Yeah.
But I mean,
rest in peace.
Okay, let's talk. Let's dive into it, right? Let's dive into it.
Into Michael Jackson?
Yeah. Do you believe the kids or the do you believe them? The two guys, I guess, the two men, I should say.
So first, I didn't know anything about it, and so I kind of believed it just because, he's so weird. There's probably something going on. But then I read more into the case and all the different things, like, the father faked this, and the kids were coached here, and the evidence did. And then I was like, oh man, he's been framed, and he's actually just a weirdo who's just being set up. Then I watched the documentary.
Yeah.
And then the documentary goes into real deep stuff, and it's like, there's so much there that's like weirder than I thought. That I swung back in the other thing that, like, he's probably guilty. But then I watched a counter documentary that was saying that they're just trying.
So now, offense
yeah, I don't know what to think. Like,
it's like I'm on the fence always.
Because they were making some crazy crazy meaning like gross and like.
Dude, if you're struggling this much, just say yes.
I'm leaning towards yes. I'm definitely leaning towards yes. Because. There's all these things that people bring up.
It's just your opinion, you know what I mean? You're not facts.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. If Michael Jackson really likes kids and innocence and just like playing games, like harmless, why is it always like young, white, like sort of good-looking boys? Like, you know, they look like actor kids or something.
Maybe, you know, where's like the only kids he has access to?
Where's the fat kid? Like, where's the girl? How come he didn't have a sleepover with the girl or like a fat?
Yeah, because if you're just a kid
or like a black kid,
if you think you're like a kid, they don't care about that.
Yeah, it's like he had a type, and so that's the kind of thing that I can't get around. It's like why it's all about innocence. It could just be any kid, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, like,
so, I mean that is kind of weaker evidence, I guess, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta check the time. It's been about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Cool. We talked about pedophilia.
But that music doesn't. Well, it counts. I'll leave it in.
Oh.
Yeah, because like that's my reaction.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't noticed, folks, I'm very amateurish.
You don't have to call it out.
Yeah, but I don't know what to do. To be honest, like we're just flying by the seat.
Haven't you seen Rogan's first podcast? He's just like in a room, and they're just like.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do a little bit better than him because he doesn't even know at that time. He doesn't even know what a podcast is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least I have a way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a whole
new level now. Like he's pretty much. I hate to say it, but
like
this is the reason why I'm here. Yeah,
he's like a whole network.
I can see him succeed, and it's like, dang. I don't mind interviewing people
and then talking. People come to him now.
Yeah.
Even like
I have to beg people to come here.
Yeah. Wait, did Kanye come on the show?
No.
Oh, I think that's the one.
It would have been the biggest show ever.
Yeah, they just had Snowden.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Like Elon Musk was the big. Like,
the big one. They just had Edward Norton.
Oh, okay.
So he's interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's known as the famous guy, interview guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's almost not an interview. Like that's the reason.
It's just like what we're doing now. Yeah.
Yeah, just like talks and then smokes and stuff and.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm not gonna do on these.
You're not gonna smoke?
No.
Why not?
I kind of keep clear. You know, I'm not like Joe Rogan where I can get away with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like people will say, I don't want to watch this. You know.
How about drinking?
No, I mean the audio. I mean the Jess can do whatever he wants, but I prefer to just. You know, we're gonna get into a pretty heavy things. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You know.
But don't you think some people like really speak their mind only when they're drunk?
I don't know if I want to interview those people.
Really?
Yeah, because it sounds like a mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think some people that like they'll drink at some point.
That's the thing, though. The biggest difference between like I can't say Joe Rogan, but like let's say like the other podcast. Let's give me another podcast.
Bill Burr.
Yeah, like okay, so yeah, even Bill Burr. Yeah, Bill Burr is more involved in entertaining the audience. You know what I mean? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Joe Rogan, not so much. You know, he doesn't give a fuck.
Like he's just talking.
Yeah. But like Bill's like, I gotta hit a joke here, and you know, he knows people come to him for his comedy.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I don't care if anyone comes. This is for my therapy. This is for my.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it gets kind of lonely here. You know what I mean? And like, if I could get people to do a podcast, is kind of like my journal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I want my kids to see. I mean, if I've never become famous or do anything good, big, at least I got this to remember my best days.
Yeah, I never thought of a podcast as like a diary.
Well, yeah, because like I looked at my stuff and it's like, dude, no one's gonna know me. You know, when I die or whatever. That's it, you know what I mean? Like
this podcast took a dark turn.
It was a dark turn for me to start things. Because let's just admit it, dude. The last 15 years, I just put on the guise of learning, but all I did was play video games and just smoke weed.
Wait, aren't you still doing that?
Yeah, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
But you know,
yes.
You know, but I'm one of the person that I believe, and most people believe, is like I have a high potential. And everyone sees me wasting, but the potential, it finally got on my ass. You know? Yeah. My sister, my brother, my dad is like, when are you gonna make money? Of course, you know. But it's even deeper than that, though. Of course, my sister understands that like people will want to listen to me. They will want to hear my music. They will want to see my movies, and they will want to watch my videos. They will want to do this. Maybe not now. Maybe not a year from now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe not even 5 years from now. Yeah. But maybe 10 years from now when everyone knows who I am.
I guess the important thing is just starting.
Yeah. I need to... And that's... I don't want to veer into this until the next podcast, but that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. And the other reason is Peter Yang. Because he told the story that, you know, I want to fix America, do all this shit, right? But...
Wait, Andrew Yang?
Yeah, Andrew Yang, yeah. And then his wife is just like... You just all talk. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just talk. You know? You're not serious. And then one day he quit his job and he said, I'm running for president. and he recorded a podcast or whatever and did it on thing. He put it, uploaded it, like, I'm running for president. No one watched it. No one knew who he was.
Yeah.
But because it's out there, he went along with it. So that I said I was going to open a podcast, right? Like 2 weeks ago. And here we are. Right?
Yeah.
Because he did it. It was because that's the power of an Asian man following another Asian man. You know?
Does it have to be Asian, or is it just
at some point? I guess it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All these white guys didn't like get me to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had to be. I mean, I don't want to be racist, but
yeah,
it just happened like that way. Like,
yeah, if you see someone who looks like you, if
yeah.
someone looks like you and they do something, you're like, hey, I can do that too, right?
Yeah, and we never, as an Asian and an Indian too, we never really had that time, you know, in the sun here in America.
Guess. But like most Indians in politics, like are like
Jindal?
Republican. Yeah, it's like
Bobby Jindal.
or even Kamala Harris is half Indian.
Yeah, I
right?
know. But Jindal's the guy that comes to mind.
Yeah, they're just like
he's
really
like
gross.
Straight up Indian. You know?
But he's like really
conservative. Yeah.
Yeah, but not just that. He's like evangelical something. Like he's really religious.
He's
like,
definitely not liberal.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of like. I know some Indians that are just like
ultra conservative that like
ultra Trump.
They turn white. Like,
it's because Indians are the richest. They're the wealthiest ethnic group in America. Yeah. Which is
because all the rich ones go pair.
Yeah, they're coming in off. Yeah, they're coming off like the visas, you know, for higher education the rich ones and doctors and tech people. And it's like
that's kind of how like Chinese people. We have a friend like that actually, Chinese, that has a rich family, and I'm here.
Yeah,
they can afford to be here.
Yeah, but it always like turned me off when I hear like we have a family friend, which I won't mention his name, but he's like total Trump guy. Yeah. And he's also like religious and stuff, and it's like
so it's like his mission.
Yeah, and he's like posting on Facebook. He's like, we need Trump's values. He was saying the Pope was wrong, and he's like, we need Trump's values.
Is this guy Catholic? Oh,
yeah,
talk about
he's Catholic, and it's like I don't necessarily support the Pope or anything, but it's just like
talk about like climate change. Or, like I don't agree with the climate change.
Yeah.
What is his climate views? Let's table this.
And everything that comes out of his mouth is just something from Fox News. It's just like the standard talking points. He's like, it's a witch hunt. It's a hoax. It's like, have you ever said the word witch hunt in the last like previous 5 years? You know, before Trump, you probably never even said that word.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, witch hunt, hoax.
How about?
No collusion. It's like pulling a string on like a.
If you haven't noticed, this guy is really anti-Trump. You know, like grinds his gears. And let's be honest, here in California, we hate the guy. You know what I mean? But let's not talk too much about Trump. Yeah. Let's do that in the other podcast.
Yeah, let's keep it positive. Like Andrew Yang keeps it positive.
Yeah,
right? He never even attacks Trump that much.
But I don't want to talk about him either because it's like. This is supposed to be lighthearted. Yeah. You know, because we have our serious stuff in the other podcast. If you want to watch that podcast, it's the Real People Politics. Look, I'm practicing my my cues, right? Yeah. Real People Politics by me, your host, V-Tran. You know, we're going to go at it. But even then, like, there's so much negativity in the world. You know what I mean? Everyone likes to shit on people. There's so much tribalism. That's why I have to find that niche, you know, like with positivity, because like at the end of the day, me as a Buddhist, I have to be positive.
Do you? I thought you just have to be like neutral.
Yeah, because I feel negativity all the time. You know what I'm saying? I see all the bad all the time.
Is a Buddhist like a enlightened Buddhist? Are you supposed to be like neutral? Or
that's what I'm saying.
So you're not supposed to be happy, right? You're just supposed to be like like nothing.
No, Buddhist says it doesn't matter.
Oh. So you can be
you
negative.
Can do whatever you want. Yeah.
So you can be negative too.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, you know. It only affects you.
Well, that's easy.
Well, no.
I'm doing it right now.
You know, it's more like self-enlightenment, right? Yeah. That's what Buddha's always about. Like, you can do everything exactly like me, but you will never be me. You'll never become a Buddha doing everything exactly like me. Everyone has their way. Everyone has the thing. Like, that's why we don't ever push our politics or our religion onto other people.
So it's any path you want?
Yeah.
Including rejecting Buddhism?
Yes.
Oh, well, so you can't get out
of it.
In
fact, he says, I encourage people not to follow even anyone, including me.
How about to destroy all Buddhist teachings? What if that's your path?
That's your path.
Does that count as Buddhism?
See, is that really truly that person's path?
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you go deep into it, then you realize you're just playing you're just playing like logic games. But when it comes to reality, that's why religion turns people off, because it's not absolute. You know, like.
But then why have
Christianity act like it's crap?
Like why even have teachings then? Like
it's because
you got to find your own path. Why not just like discover yourself?
Well, people want answers, so Buddha will provide whatever answers he can. You know what I'm saying? People want to know what happens after death. That's the big question. He just says you get reborn.
How does he know?
Because he's the Buddha. You see what I'm saying? It's not absolute. It's not something that science will agree upon. You know what I mean? Like until science finds energy levels of these, like kind of Ghostbuster stuff. You know what I mean? Science cannot agree with it. But science itself is flawed, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? If you say science is absolute and what our science says now is the truth, that person is wrong. Because we don't know all like astrophysics, and we don't even have a unifying field theory. You know what I mean? It's like, so we might even be less than 1% of total knowledge.
Yeah, but do you just say something's true and then wait for science to prove it? Like, what if it's not true?
Like you said, it doesn't matter. If you're right or wrong, right? Yeah. Because you like to stress things and go over your mind. Yeah. A Buddha's like, enjoy your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you worry too much or do these things, because this is my dad. He's kind of like you. It's like, oh man, these two tenants, they have dogs. You know, I'm not supposed to have a dog now. They're pushing my authority. You know, just like, and me and my sister and my brother, I was kind of like that until my dad overdosed it. You know, and now we're just like, we don't give a fuck no more. You know, fuck the dogs. Let them have the dog.
You should eat them.
Just shut the hell up.
Why don't you eat them?
You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of the dog. You know, you know what I mean? That's kind of like. That's kind of like the science way of thinking, I believe. Like, I love science. I mean, I've evolved with it, of course. You know, they are always true, you know what I mean? But it's not, it doesn't have all the answers. Yeah. And like, that's the leeway that the religion people have. That's how you get climate change is not real and shit. Yeah. You know, I agree that you do have to follow science, but you don't have to follow it to the point where you have to go to belief. Yeah. You know what I mean? With science, you don't have to believe. Yeah. You just believe. You just know, right? It's fact or not fact. All this conjecture, theories, whatever. That it's not based on facts. Sometimes, yes, it's based on fact, but it's not true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's like, but they never say this is true. There's like, this is what we know at this point, and we're open for changing it. You know? Yeah. It's more like the process than like.
And that's why I give props to the scientists. At least they say that's wise. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know everything, but like I see Christians, and they're like on top of the world. They're on a pedestal, and I'm like, right? Like I know everything, but you know, you get the idea. I was like, I know more about life than you do. Therefore, you should join me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's just a height of arrogance to me. Yeah. A Buddhist, a Buddhist who says that is not a Buddhist.
Do any type, like sects of Buddhism, like actively try and convert people?
Yeah. True.
Like, so how about those guys? Why are they trying to like, shouldn't they just be like, find your own path?
They're like half Christians.
Oh. Is that like a mainstream one, or is that
they're kind of mainstream in Vietnam. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? The Christian Buddhist sects. But it's the Christian influence I see.
So Buddha never said like convert people, right?
No.
He's just like, just do your thing.
Do your thing. That's why it's considered an open religion. That means anyone can join, but like, it's not necessary to join to keep this religion. Yeah. We don't care if the religion lives or not. You know what I mean? Therefore, that's why there's so many sects and organizations, because they have their own rules. They want to make more rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like constitution, right? Buddha is kind of like a constitution. It's very vague on purpose. Yeah. And like everyone else is like the state government, city governments. They all form their own governments.
Okay. So you could start your own branch.
Yeah, I am. I'm Master V. Didn't you know that?
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm Master V.
How many disciples do you have so far?
Me.
Oh.
But that's the ludicrous. I'm trying to make fun of the ludicrous of calling yourself master.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, hey, anyone could be master.
Yeah, like Master P. Right?
Yeah, like I'm Master V. You know, but I'm making a religious one too for my religion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is for a podcast.
Oh.
So it's just me and my mom want to speak Vietnamese.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's not really for American consumption. Mm-hmm. And I also have a channel called Master V.
Oh.
So that's the English channel where I'm just gonna talk about my theories. You know, my how world be. You know, just people are very curious about how my master.
Yeah.
Was teaching, you know, into me.
Okay.
Yeah. People are curious about that.
Are there any like non-Vietnamese followers?
Yeah, but they're just like under 1,000, I should say.
What are they mostly, like Indian or something?
There's some French.
Oh, really?
It's international, actually.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
some British, some German.
German, as in like
the actual
like
German,
white people.
Yeah, white. Yeah.
Wow. How did they learn about it? They just
they
there?
just have some kind of friend
Okay.
who was like Vietnamese or something, who was a part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really the only way. Part of the reason why I'm doing Master V, you know what I mean? Maybe gain some followers for my organization.
Wait, didn't you say you have none so far?
No, that's me.
Oh, okay.
my master.
Oh, your
still
master,
exists.
Yeah,
His teaching still exists.
Okay.
And that's what that's the purpose.
You should start a cult.
I am Master V.
But like
but only one person is.
But like only allow like hot
only
chicks,
me.
and like everyone has to pay like dues and like
that's breaking my religion
dues.
though.
Oh, why?
There's only one person in my religion, and that's me.
Well,
and there's no more room for anyone else. I'm the master. I'm the student. Everything. They'll die with me. I'm gonna call it Vism. So that just shows you how crazy religion can be, right?
Yeah.
Like I can make a religion.
Yeah.
Right? Are they gonna call me a cult? Maybe. It's like it's just because but that's the beauty of America, right? Like I can do whatever the fuck I want, believe in whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like Vietnam had the issue too, because like Christianity were pro-Western, so they're like pro-South.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you ever knew this, but the South lost. It wasn't because of America. Right? Everyone likes to say, "Oh, America did this," "Oh, America pulled out." The South lost because they were a Christian nation. They're very Catholic. The president was Catholic, so he started to jail Buddhists. You know what I mean? He started to jail all these Buddhist people, jail whatever he would thought was working, whatever. And so they decided to form the Viet Cong, the South people.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, and it's the Viet Cong who, you know, turned the tides of the war. All because he could not tolerate Buddhist people.
But why?
Oh, shit. Sorry. For the camera, guys. Huh? Oh, because he thought they were pro-communist.
Oh.
And he was Catholic himself, and he didn't.
So it wasn't a religious
He
thing?
considered. This is why Catholics rub people the wrong way, because Catholic thinks they're the superior religion. And so,
but everyone thinks they're the superior religion.
True, but the Catholics actually enforce it. You know what I'm saying? Through religion and through government, through military. The Catholics actually have done, not these days, of course. I don't think the Catholic can do much these days, but back then, you know, like the Vietnam War, like the Pope was still powerful. That's why people are like on it. But Catholics these days, they're kind of like a punching bag for the liberals. You know, like no one really takes them seriously no more.
Like as a voting bloc? Or like,
yeah, everything, yeah. Like entertainment, voting bloc.
Wasn't it a big deal when JFK was like elected?
As a Catholic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has there been, and he was the only Catholic, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Everyone's kind of like Protestant.
Yeah. That's interesting, because you'd think like you'd have at least one more in all this time, right?
It's because Catholics doesn't do well with politics. You know what I'm saying? This is like our way or the highway. And then JFK kind of went against that. We don't think of him as a Catholic president, really, do we?
No, he was like...
Yeah, you know, even though he was... Dude, the guy slept with like...
I know, like anything.
You know what I mean? He's not a cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want him to represent the Catholics, right?
Yeah.
You know, he just happened to. That's kind of like most people, though. Like, we're just in the church, you know, just because I believe in God, but I don't believe everything. Yeah. That's kind of like church these days. So they just do it for, like, to save their souls, I guess. All right, so, what time is it? Okay, it's been 20 minutes. Good time for a break. Okay, so let's take our break right now. Let's go outside. Everything keeps recording. Oh. Yeah. All right, and we're back. And we were talking about how amateurs become professionals in the entertainment business generally. And the subject came up with Boondock Saints. And I didn't know about this, so why don't you repeat what you said?
Well, like, the rough story is that, like, the guy who wrote it and directed it had, like, no previous experience. And he was doing some other job. He was like a bouncer or a bartender or something. And then he just, like, you know, observed what was going on around him. And then he wrote his own script. And this was, I don't know if you could do this now, but, like, back then he somehow got the attention.
Well, I think it's more relevant now because of YouTube and everything. You know what I mean? Like, people are more willing to finance.
But there's also, like, 1,000 times the number of people doing it. You know, so it's like you get lost in it. But back then
he had, it's probably harder to start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The money.
Yeah, he got the attention of some studios, and then they allowed him to direct it and stuff, and they had a lot of problems on set, and I think he had, like, a big ego, and there's a lot of issues going on, but finally it got made. Yeah. And then it was, like, a critical failure, I think. I mean, it's not that good of a movie. It's entertaining, but it's, like, you know, it's not, like, well written or anything. But it became, like, a cult hit. Yeah. And then they had a sequel too, and, like, it's just one of those things where it's like it worked out for one guy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and the reason why this subject came up is pretty much I'm kind of looking at my career path right now, and, like, I feel like when you start a podcast, it's just because it's kind of hard not to look at the views. You know what I mean? You want to look at it like, is anyone watching my shit? You know what I mean? And, like, it's kind of hard when you see, like, 10 views, 8 views, you know, 5 views. And you just got to remember that this is how everyone starts. You know what I mean? And the part of the reason why this is brought up because we were talking about keyword searches. You know what I mean? Right? Yeah. And in fact, why don't you add more into your background? Let's say your professional background.
Oh, like SEO and all that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's start with college.
Like, what about it?
We don't know what college we are. Well, the audience doesn't know.
Does that matter?
Like, yes, because we're in a podcast.
Okay, I studied computer science, and then I studied business. Like, I did an MBA.
Yes.
After, and then I worked in, like, SEO for.
What is
SEO?
Yes.
Search engine optimization. So it's like. So it's very simple. It's basically like trying to rank highly in Google. You do a search in Google, and certain things come up number 1, certain things come up number 2, number 3. It's like, why are they in that order? So it's basically everything that goes into moving those rankings, because that's the ultimate goal. Yeah. But there's a lot to it because it's about every aspect of the website itself.
And the way I describe it is you're like the 5th guy on the web, the Google, whatever search, right? And you want to go to be like the 3rd or 2nd. Yeah. You're the guy to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not just the rankings and movement. That's like the ultimate goal. But it's also like accessibility of the website, the speed of the website. So it's a lot of things. It's sort of like if you have a car, you have to take it to a mechanic, and you might, like, give it better brakes, or you might give it a better paint job because then it looks better. You do all these little things.
Okay, so you're like, you service the websites?
Mostly on the website, although there's some external to the website, but it's like...
And this is a website, like a business website usually?
Yeah, it's all like
they just want more business through the Google.
But it's also if a site is, like, if somebody's launching a site for the first time, certain things have to be put in place so Google's able to, like, access it. You know, what if you wrote a book and then you had no distribution, like they didn't put it in bookstores, or librarians didn't know where to put it on the shelf or whatever, you know? Like, all the people that are gonna read it, they can only get it if there's that distributor in the middle. You know, in this case, that's Google, right?
Yeah, and then you're just making it more efficient
So SEO touches on like every aspect. So it's like there's UX, like user experience aspects. There's some tech aspects, like
that kind of reminds me of Silicon Valley. Have you seen
the show? No, I haven't seen it.
Because they had problems with user interface. Just go continue.
Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't matter if you're like really good in one area. Like, say your site is technically very good and it loads quickly and it's a really good experience. But you have no content. You know?
Oh, so it goes down.
It's everything. It's like content. Everything that's written on the site has SEO implications. Everything.
Well, that's part of the reason why I wanted, because like people have asked me, like, I mean, it's probably not. Now I'm going to interject here for this no irrelevant story, but they asked me, why don't you do the Skype or something interviews and instead of having everyone here?
Oh, you know like do it remotely?
Yeah, and like you can get better guests and all that stuff. You can get
but it's a different vibe when you have somebody.
Yeah, see, when you hear my voice, you're hearing it out of like a $5,000 system. You know, when you go to Skype, I can barely see you, I can barely hear you. I just want to stop, and then YouTube will put those guys lower on the search engines because it's just bad quality. For some reason, somehow they know it's bad quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how their algorithm works. Maybe it's just the way amateurs or way do it. But Skype interviews, so unprofessional. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, if there's no other choice, if somebody's like the other side of the world.
Yeah, but like, if you don't know other choice, that's why people like CNN or whatever. It's like, if the guy's remote, then you go to our studio and that remote place. They have studios everywhere, you know? So they never have that problem. Yeah. But I see, like, I don't know if you watch The Hill. It's like a news for federal government from Capitol Hill. And, like, you could tell they're just, like, more, like, lower budget compared to, like, these mainstream media. And, like, they do this. Once I see the Skype interview, I'm like, dude, you guys are still Bush Week. But you're still Bush League, you know what I mean? Like, you can have all these guests, you know? Like, they even have Andrew Yang and Bernie Sanders on there, you know what I mean? But it's like, once that Skype interview comes in.
But that's also what's cool about podcasts because it's like stripped down to like just the basics. It's just like a voice in your ear.
Yeah.
You know?
And people like it because, let's be honest, that's my phrase. Let's be honest here. They're not really listening to us. They're just like playing games.
Yeah, it's like background noise.
Yeah, and once in a while they'll hear something they like or something. Yeah, because like there's not much to listen to because you know we tend to ramble on.
But that's what's kind of weird about podcasts that I think is like negative because I'm always like, oh, podcasts are so great. While I'm doing something I can learn, and when I'm writing,
but you're not actually listening.
But I think it's worse than that. I think it's actually like replacing your own thoughts. It's like you don't want to you don't want to think your own thoughts and be confronted with your own thoughts.
Because you're so bored at whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it's just a stream of like other people's thoughts, and it's like. When you have you ever shut off a podcast and it feels weird and it's like you go to wash the dishes and you're like I need a podcast.
Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm turning into Joe Rogan, you know, because it's like you're just like I want to do keto and I want to, you know, it's like I'm not gonna fight, you know.
Yeah, I had a friend who purposely stopped listening to podcasts for this reason. Yeah, and it was like the first time I was like, oh, podcasts can be negative because it's like in your head.
But that's like when you do it too much.
Yeah, but people do it like at work. I'll listen like 3-4 hours a day at work. You know.
Yeah.
You add that up. You know how much that is? It's like more than your own, like conversations with friends or you know whatever.
It was like my co-host, right? I don't know if you met him, but you met his brother. Okay, but he's a streamer. You know what I mean?
Like Twitch, like
full on streamer. You know what I mean? And I could see him influence his viewers, the very small he has, you know what I mean? His audience and stuff, and like, yeah, it's kind of dangerous, but you're talking like if like people are doing it anyways, you know, thinking for themselves anyways.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If they don't do that, it's like daytime,
but it's sort of
talk show,
be still
talk radio.
Like a zombie. Still, it's just like,
it's just another way.
Like you got to be your own zombie. You can't be like someone else. It's like
yeah, but like what podcast has done is pretty much you found your tribe. You know, like this is the tribe I like, and he has a podcast. You know, so because everyone has one these days.
Yeah. I wonder how many hours of podcasts have been recorded. It's probably like billions.
It's like how many raindrops have been dropped on Earth? How many drops of water will fill the ocean on Earth? Yeah. You'll never know.
Even your own
how
podcast,
many licks was it? How many licks of
to get to the center of the Tootsie Roll?
And like the millennials don't even give it know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, wait, you're not a millennial? I'm a millennial.
We're at the border.
We're like at the end. What is it? 1981?
It's 82.
Oh, I'm 82. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm 4 months away from being an ex.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. Just only 4 months away from being ex. You can see why I have a lot of X genes, I should say.
Like being a slacker?
Yeah, like playing video games. Like, at least millennials are mad about something. Yeah. You know, us Xers, we just stop giving a fuck. Mm-hmm. Right? You saw it. Like, you could consider yourself an Xer because...
I don't. I still feel like a millennial.
Because it's 18 years span, and then you're on the first 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wait, I think it's actually 81 though by some measures, right?
No, it's 82 to 2000. I looked it up many times. Okay. It's 82 to 2000. Why we call it millennial? Because of the 2000.
Yeah. Like I turned 18 in 2000. Like I became an adult. That's pretty crazy. Like right at
that's why we're millennials, because it's 2000 right there.
Yeah. But the main thing is that you can remember before and after the internet. That's like the key.
That's the key, the X game.
Yeah.
X
because that internet changed everything. That happened.
So yeah, that's why we're more like X Geners, because we didn't really grow up with internet until like in our middle school or high school. Yeah. While millennials are born with internet.
But you still can be proficient at technology.
Yeah, because like we're the one who started it.
Yeah. But you can remember the old days, but still be good.
We used it first. That's what it is. Yeah, right? Yeah. We used it first for anyone. I mean, I was like doing BBS. You ever heard that? Bulletin board system?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I can play this basketball game for $20 an hour.
And people like download porn, and it counts like one row at a time. Like,
that's why we're X-Geners. It's like we were downloading porn on 26.
And it was like one picture, and it took like half an hour.
I remember I had to convince my mom. It's like, dude, it's a whole new thing.
Oh,
you know? You can start downloading it. And she's like, nah, I don't know. Until she found out that her newsletter, the Vovi newsletter, it was on the internet. She's like, I have to have internet to download this. I was like, okay, let's get the 56 one. It's a little faster. Like,
and then you
skip over this.
Then you start with the porn, right?
And then it's like, deet. No, it's like, it wasn't even real porn at first. It was like art porn in the BBS stuff, because like no one had scanners. It was kind of weird in the beginning, and then real porn came in, like from the centerfolds. They started scanning the centerfolds, and that's the beginning of internet porn.
Yeah,
now it's like all internet.
Yeah. I wonder what percentage of the internet is like, or percentage of websites are like porn.
See, you're making that stereotype that Indians are number people. You know, you're like, you're looking for a number. Like,
I'm just curious.
Dharmesh is definitely like that.
Like I have a friend who's a computer scientist, and I've heard this before. He's like, porn drove the internet.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was the first purveyor. Like,
well, yeah, but like the reason these technologies took off, like high speed streaming, it's because they needed
so slow.
Yeah, and that was the.
I can't believe you actually did do that, like from the top to the bottom. You remember that? Yeah. Like, you're like, I can see the movie. I think that's enough.
It's a simpler time.
Yeah, like 1 megabyte. You remember how much it is to download that? You know what I mean? Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
The picture. Oh, it's only 1 megabyte. Yeah. Did you mess with those things? BBSs?
I remember having a computer that had 16 megabytes of RAM.
Yeah. That's like the 586.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those old school ones, like early 90s.
Yeah.
I remember the 80s computers, like PCs.
Yeah.
It was like a floppy.
Remember Wang computers?
I don't remember what it was, but it was like IBM.
Yeah, the big floppy,
the floppy ones. Yeah, that's. And it's like, what's the other one? Commodore.
Oh,
it wasn't really a computer. It was like a gaming system.
Yeah.
But
wait, was it 5 1/4?
Yeah, they're all like 5 quarters. Yeah, there's 3 1/2.
Yeah, 3 1/2. The diskette, and then remember they had the zip disks.
The zip disks died.
Zip drives, and like this is the future.
Yeah. Then we found out the future was wireless.
Right? Yeah, even like a USB stick, it's like now that's just like
that's like
now it's like everything's in the cloud.
Yeah. Now we never even thought that was possible. Well, science fiction people, of course. Yeah, they thought of everything.
But what's after the cloud? I mean, the cloud just means someone else's computer, basically, right? I'd rather keep stuff on my own.
Yeah, we can't envision what's after the cloud.
It'll just be in your head.
So like that's all the science fiction, you know what I mean? Like all the science fiction has gone to some kind of cloud, right? In DC Comics, there's this guy named Brainiac. I think it's DC. Yeah, and he does everything over the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, is this like a new hero that just started?
Well, this is like in the 70s.
Wait, and it was like they had the internet back then?
No, they talked about it? The alien internet, I should say.
The alien internet?
But there was back then they have GovNet.
Oh.
So they just imagine what GovNet, yeah. You know what I mean? We had internet, well, a type of internet, GovNet, right? That's how they send like reports and stuff. It was like Apple IIe.
So what was his power? What was his?
Oh, he was the smartest. And so like his machines, he's connected into the internet type deal, and he controls everything, like all his soldiers, all his it's like Skynet. Oh, okay. I think it was before Skynet. Yeah. What do you think about Skynet?
Like
the
Terminator,
the cloud, yeah. Isn't that just what a cloud is? Isn't that what Skynet is?
Yeah, at some point something bad will happen.
Oh, if that's the doomsayers.
Yeah, it like has to. That's like
right. Isn't that what like that's like the like artificial intelligence in the future? Yeah. Like Skynet. Everyone's kind of so scared of Skynet.
Well, look at every technology, or look at Facebook. Like now, I think the negativity towards Facebook or around Facebook is more than the positive. Like 10 years ago, Facebook
everyone
was cool.
It was like now people don't want to use it.
Now when you talk about Facebook, it's just like, oh, Zuckerberg gave some testimony and these ads are following me around and they threw the election and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like people are just attached to it because they have to be, because they're like, you don't want to delete your Facebook entirely. It's all old people. I've got a haircut today and it was like a grandma. She's like, 60s, like late 60s or something, and she's talking about how much she loves Facebook, and I was like, and she's like, do you have a Facebook? Because she wanted to be my Facebook friend.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of like, I was like, oh, that's nice of you, but like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I promised you something, didn't I?
I don't. Wait, like what?
I don't know if I should remind you, because I don't want to do it.
Is it of a sexual nature?
Kinda.
What?
But not with you.
Okay.
Think about it though.
Like a dating profile, right? Yeah. What? Oh, you don't want to do it?
No, I promised, and yeah, that's something. Let's just bring that up since we're running out of content.
No.
I promised this guy, and I want to say out here in the podcast that I'm gonna do it. Maybe not today. I'll do it tomorrow. I mean, I have a lot of work to do anyways. But maybe tomorrow. I go over to your house. Because I did promise, and I just want to get.
Well, it's not a promise to me. It's just like, if you want to do it and see if it works.
Yeah. Well, I did promise, so this is the only way I would do it. Right? Yes, I'm using you as a tool, as a mental tool, right? Okay. Right, to get me, because like I want to date, I want to go online and date, but it's just. I already told you my concerns as an Asian man, it's just last time, all the dating ones, I just get no response, and like.
Because you're Asian, you think?
It has maybe a good amount of them, but not all of them. But it's just, yeah.
I've noticed that, I've noticed it myself, and I've heard it from other Asian dudes.
Yeah.
And I've heard it from non-Asians.
But it could have been just the way Match and Tinder. It's just the way they're set up or something.
Do you think, I know this is like harsh to say, but do you think there's something about like an East Asian male that's like the least attractive to all women?
That's what I'm saying.
Even to other Asian women?
Yes.
Like, why is that? Unless you're in the old country.
Okay, now this is my strength, it's because we're in gratitude. We're in debt. We're ingrained in our bread that the white guy is the default. It's because there's 65% of the Americans, right? So the default is considered normal, right?
Yeah.
So when we go out, then we're considered exotic. Ooh, You know, once that exotic label comes on, it could be like bad or good. But when it comes to other defaults, then it's bad.
But then this should apply to any minority.
Yes, but
right?
women nowadays just starting to consider themselves default because they're just as hot as the white girls or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, like Asian girls?
Yeah. They're just mimicking white people.
But I feel it's different because guys are into all girls. Like,
true.
Even if a guy's really into white girls, if some hot Asian girl came onto me, it's not like he's gonna say no. He's like,
yeah.
So I feel it's a different standard. Whereas girls have more choice.
It is a different standard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like it's I'm not, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a social thing or a genetic thing, but I know it's like a default thing. You know, like this guy's normal.
But I don't notice it as much for me. Like I'm like
it's because
the only Indian guy when I walk into a bar. You know,
it's because.
But I feel like they're just looking at me as like a darker colored white guy.
Yeah, you know,
like they're judging me by like the white guy standard.
Yeah, and then they look at me and it's like, okay, this guy's way different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
I mean, if you're American though, that's the other thing. Like if you're Indian from India, then you're immediately like creepy to them. Which is
all my life here in America, I never considered myself a good-looking person. You know, but if I go over to Vietnam or China, all of a sudden I'm the hottest guy in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah. You know, then I realized, I am good looking. You know, it's just I've been rejected so much by white women and you know Mexicans or whatever that it just affects you. You know, and that's just when I realized, like, people don't see Asian as hot as other like Asian people. You know what I mean?
Some do, but it just seems like a real niche kind of market.
Like I said, that comes from just not being part of the default.
Unless you're like a real alpha Asian. There's a few like David Cho characters or like I know a few people like that, like that I went to college with and stuff, that are just like buff, but they're like alpha.
They'll have problems with white girl. They'll get some Asian girl. You know what I mean? Like it's just the way it is. Even the hottest Asian guy, you know what I mean, will have problems with getting a hot white girl. Like.
I don't know. I mean, there's a few that are
There's a few, but then you're talking about less than 1%. You know, has that Asian file, like, you know, and that's the realism I have to face when I go onto these websites and shit. Like, okay, they're just gonna reject me just by being Asian alone. You know what I mean? And that's just the bitterness of me. Like, okay, now I'm going back to ugly V again. You know what I mean? Like, I built all this confidence for what? Just to bring down by these few girls who all will reject me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but they're not necessarily rejecting you. They're just like not.
Yeah, but when you have nothing, when no response, and you try all your heart, you know, like, I don't know if any other guys that's normal for any other guys, but that's normal to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but it's also a numbers thing. Like if you swiped on 10,000 chicks and you got one match, it'd probably still be worth it because it's one you would have gone otherwise.
But
if she's cool, then she's
cool. But
my
my greatest answer. I mean, maybe with this podcast might actually help me because like people see pictures of me and they just can't realize how much of a personality I am. Because like when I do go to the dance floor, how do they know that I'm that guy? You know what I mean? They want that guy, right?
But you are that guy.
I am that guy.
Like you
they can't tell. Yeah, they can't.
But you shouldn't even say that guy. You should say me.
But you know what I'm saying?
You're like distancing.
But when I go on to the internet, the reason why I say I'm not that guy is because no one assumes I'm that guy. So it's the perception is not there. So therefore, I'm not. You know what I mean? As long as all I know is I am a guy who loves fun, right? You know that. I like fun. I get bored easily. That's why I play video games. I am exactly my dad like that. Me and my sister, we're just fun-loving people. You know, we'll spend money, food, whatever, to have fun. And this is why I'm doing this. If this was not fun, talking was not fun, I wouldn't be doing this, right? It's just, but, I lost my point.
Dating online.
Let's go back to the original.
The real you, like that guy. Oh yeah, because like,
well, maybe this podcast might work because I'll just put it. Maybe we'll just put my channel on there, and so they want to see a video of me. This is perfect right here. They can even know what my inner thoughts are. You know what I mean? But the truth is, I don't really care. You know what I mean? I have so many on my plate, so much on my plate. Like I have so many plans, so many. I'm a polymath. You know what I mean?
Wait, you don't care about what?
I don't care if I'm with someone or not. You know what I mean? Like I don't care if I'm dating. I'm like kind of over it.
But that feels like you're setting something at odds with something else. It's like, oh, I don't care if I'm this because I have all this going on. It's like, no, you could have both.
I could have both, but you know what I mean?
Like everyone could have both. You got like 10 things.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Am I coming out Saturday? Am I not coming out? Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that, like, there's a reason why I'm not as confident as I should be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's because, like, I get more rejected than I win. Mm-hmm. You know, and that does affect you because you're just like, am I on the right foot? Am I making the right impression? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I understand that that's kind of like how you are in a way. Mm-hmm. You want people to be comfortable around you, and like, you just want people to like you, right? That's just how everyone is. Yeah. And like but like I just don't feel like online it just shows me all of the bad stuff for me. You know, like you know, you need a video of me or something of dancing or
you can post videos.
Yeah, but no one's gonna watch them.
Yeah, there's the type where you scroll into view. It's like a little animated GIF kind of thing.
All right, you record me dancing then.
Hey, I didn't sign up for this. But yeah,
is that 4 yet? Because we're gonna end this at 4. What time is it?
4:05.
Oh, dang! There it goes. The general podcast. All right, let's have our closing thoughts then, right? Well, you don't have any closing thoughts.
How do you know?
All right, my closing thoughts is like, this is my good friend, and we've known each other for years now, and like pretty much this podcast is just gonna have a bunch of my friends on until I get more clout and get
until you get like people that actually matter. Like,
hey. It just shows you where I'm at. So I'm interviewing you. I'm like, hey. But you have no aspirations, do you?
No.
Do you?
Evidently not.
Do you?
Like
do
in
you
life?
Have any, do you want any online presence?
Online presence.
This is pretty much what this is for. For me
not
to have
really.
some kind. For me, anyways.
No, I don't like I'm trying to get away from social media.
This is real. This is real guess. You know.
I don't want to give my real name actually.
Yeah.
Can you edit that out? Like what my real name is? Just be like Mr. Black.
Sorry, man. People are gonna like it. Come on. It's not. Nothing's gonna happen. All right. Nothing's gonna happen. What, you think someone? You're only on here once every 3-4 months or something.
I might get a stalker. A crazy stalker.
There's gonna be a lot of guests. You're not the only one. You know what I mean? Yeah. But of course, this guy, I'm gonna have him back on whenever, especially when I can't find anyone else.
You sweet talker.
But I know since he's such a good friend, he's gonna be there to help me out, right? Sure. Yeah. Get it on video. That's how they say. But so we're gonna sign out, and then we're not done, but you guys are. All right. Later.
All right. Later.